Welcome to my channel. This is Say You Love with Crystal Lavender, and I am Crystal Lavender. We're going to try this all signs thing again. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, I'll get it all. Universe willing. So we're going to look at what is our biggest obstacle right now. What's the biggest obstacle? Rather it be, the biggest obstacle in a relationship, your biggest obstacle for your career, your biggest obstacle for chasing your dream, just whatever your biggest obstacle is. All right? We're going to try to get through all signs. We're going to start with Aries and go through Pisces. Aries. What is your biggest obstacle right now? Aries. Biggest obstacle. What is the biggest obstacle for Aries? Happy Mother's Day to all the beautiful mothers out there, whether you're a fur baby mother, a stepmother, an adopted mother, a grandmother. Aries. Ooh, so Aries, we've got the Five of Pentacles, the Nine of Cups, and the Ace of Cups. So it feels like the High Priestess. Like you're not sure if you're trusting your intuition. Like you have something that means a lot to you that you really want to go after. Something that you're really confident about, but you feel like that you might not look good enough, that you don't have the right cameras, that you don't have the this or the that. And you're scared that you might end up out in the cold. So you're scared of taking that leap of faith. But we have the Death card. To me, the Death card is like not just an ending, but something that you would regret if you didn't do. Like if you didn't do what it is that you want to do, if you didn't go after what it is that you want, are you going to regret it on your deathbed, So to me, it is saying that you have all of your tools, you have the charisma, you have the love, you have the passion. You just need to take that leap, Aries. Yeah, with the Knight of Swords. You just need to take that leap. Like you're scared of taking that leap. So whatever it is that you've got pondering in the back of your mind there, if you're pondering about starting a YouTube channel, pondering about starting your own business, pondering about, taking a leap towards someone that you are really interested in, you just got to go for it, Aries. You just got to go for it. Because if you don't, you'll never know, like the what if I could, what if I should. Stop it, kitty. He's going to go crazy. He always does that. You'll never know unless you try. Most of the time, like when people talk about people on their deathbed, they're not regretful of, the things. They're not regretful that their floor was dirty, or, that they didn't have this fancy car, or they're regretful of the opportunities that they didn't take, the things that they really wanted to do that they didn't do it because they were scared, or they didn't feel like they were good enough, or, what if everybody was to laugh at me or shun me? What if I quit my job and it's not successful? Well, what if you quit your job and it is successful? What if going after that thing that really lights your fire ends up being really successful for you? So what I'm getting is if you are going to regret it on your deathbed, Aries, regret not doing it, then you should probably go for it. At least give the opportunity, give it a shot. Give it a shot. Because we've got the Three of Pentacles, The people that laughed at you are going to support you. They're going to see that you're doing good, and they're going to wonder how you did it. They want to know how you managed it. They're going to be coming to you for advice. So I would definitely take the opportunity, Aries. You have all that it takes. You have everything that you need. You just got to go for it. What do we got? So Taurus, where are we at? 5:30. So we're trying to figure out what your biggest obstacle right now is, Taurus. What is the thing that's preventing you from, taking that leap of faith, for being successful? What is stopping you from manifesting your true desires? What is your obstacle? What is your biggest spiritual obstacle, Taurus? Happy Mother's Day to all the Tauruses out there. If you're a fur baby mom, if you're a grandmom, if you're a stepmom. Let me see what fell on the floor. Already dropping cards. Better than dropping dimes, right? Sorry. Ooh, we've got Four of Cups and the Ten of Wands. So some of you might be involved in some sort of gossip, Like you might be involved in a group of people that sit around talking about other people, And you don't like sitting around talking about other people. It like weighs heavy on your mind and your heart, And if you're around somebody that is perfectly comfortable talking about all these other people, guaranteed they're going to be talking about you if you're not in the room, So be mindful of the company that you keep. We got the Wheel of Fortune. So be mindful of the company that you keep, of the things that you tell someone, of the groups that you associate with, of the people that you have really close relationships with. Like if you are sitting there and like your best friend, all they do is, talk. Oh, did you see that way that girl's shoes were? Or did you see this? Or like you just see them making fun of everybody all the time, or constantly running up to you with their business or someone else's business. Just stop hanging out with people that all they're interested in is talking about other people. You need to surround yourself with a group of people that are inspiring, that inspire you, that inspire personal growth, that inspire creativity, that are sitting around talking about universe or religion or God or just spirit in general. I feel like you are stuck with people that have no spark. Their spark is very shallow in a way. And you feel it and you know it and you're burdened by it. Hi, Michael. You feel it and you know it and you're burdened by it. And you don't want to hold these burdens of these people. It's okay to say no to people that you love. That's part of loving yourself. And everybody says, oh, I love myself. But then they go and do things that they don't love doing. They go and hang out with people that they don't like being around. How is that loving yourself? If you're going to go and do things that you don't want to do, say yes to things that you don't want to say yes to just because someone you love is trying to get you to do it, That's not loving yourself. Loving yourself is saying no to things that you don't want to do, or situations or conversations. Like, hey, I don't want to talk about this person right now, Can we talk about something else? So Taurus, I really feel like your biggest struggle right now, your biggest obstacle has to do with the company that you keep. They say the 5 people around you are the people that that you'll end up being. If you hang out with five different millionaires, you'll end up being the sixth millionaire. You know, you hang out with five different people that all they do is gossip, you'll be the sixth person gossiping. You know, and you don't want to do that. Not to say that you don't love these people. You can love them, but you got to make sure you love yourself. And being invited into unfriendly conversations is not loving yourself. That is not loving yourself at all. So it's learning how to set up those boundaries. Like, hey, you know, I don't want to just sit here and talk shit about all these people. You know, can we talk about something else? Can we go do something else? You know, and then all the things that you hear, all these different secrets that you hear about other people, like then that becomes your burden. Like you have to think about how Billy Joe and Bobby Sue, you know, were over there cheating on this person with this person. And, you know, then you have to carry that burden of knowing these things about these people anyways. So be mindful of the company that you keep, for sure. Hi, Mama. Happy Mother's Day. Taurus. That was for Taurus. So now we are going to move on to the Gemini. Geminis, 10:55. Gemini. I like saying it like that. The Gemini. Gemini, what is your biggest obstacle right now? The biggest obstacle you're facing right now. Whether it be, you know, something in your present surroundings, something in your mind, something that's holding you back from your greatest potential. What is your biggest obstacle right now? Gemini. What do we got, Gemini? Five of Cups. Wheel of Fortune. And the Sun in reverse. So it's looking like either you didn't want to see somebody for who they truly were, like that you had some sort of, like you didn't trust something. You didn't trust something about somebody. So you set up this elaborate plan to, you know, try to catch them in the act or try to, try to find out something. Remember, don't ask questions that you really don't want the answer to. I mean, do you really want to know? You know? I mean, sometimes we have to ask the hard questions, not only with ourselves, but with other people. But don't ask questions you don't want the answer to, because you might not like it. And then if this person finds out that you were being sneaky or going through their phone or doing something like that, then they're not going to trust you, you know? But then did you trust them to begin with? If you have to go through someone's phone, then you probably already don't trust them, you know? And is that a you problem or is that a them problem? Do you have trust issues, Gemini, or does this person just not trustworthy? That seems to be the real question. It's like you've done a lot of inner work, but then when it comes down to it, you know, and you're put in a situation where do you trust this person or do you not trust this person, especially with your heart? You might have been tempted to like get into their phone or to try to catfish them into, you know, thinking that you were this other chick or this other dude just to see how they would act. And they caught you up in it or something. You know, and you don't want to be doing that because, I mean, do you really want the answer? Because if you don't trust them already, then you already have your answer. But really, is it an internal struggle or is it them? You know, do you not trust them? Or do you not trust yourself? Do you not trust yourself with the situation? Is this Gemini not trusting themselves, or is this Gemini not trusting another person? Is this some sort of internal shadow work that Gemini needs to do? Or is this like person just genuinely not trustworthy and you're catching your intuition? You know, your intuition is speaking to you. Because sometimes it's a little tricky. Sometimes we're like, oh, I know this person be up to something, you know, and then we go and peek into their phone because we don't trust them. And then we find out that they weren't doing nothing. And then you're left with the option like, oh, do I tell them that I didn't trust them and I got into their phone? You know, but then you have to look at yourself like, okay, well, where am I so unhealed that I had to go and look, you know? Where am I so unhealed that I had to go and look? Because sometimes we be spilling the tea, but tea stains, man. Tea definitely stains. We got to not ask questions we don't want the answer to. Because, yeah, you've done a lot of work, Gemini. You've done a lot of internal work. And then you get put in a situation and you're like, with the judgment card, you're like, can I trust this person? Or am I just, am I being irrational? Am I tripping? Most of the time we aren't tripping if we feel something. And then that's where we guilt ourselves into talking ourselves out of something that we know isn't good anyways, So if you caught somebody being disrespectful, don't rationalize their disrespect either. If you straight up caught somebody like being disrespectful, don't try to talk yourself out of it, because you're super smart, Gemini. You could talk yourself in and out of all kinds of situations. I'm guilty. I'm definitely guilty of that. Before I'd catch somebody up in something, and then somehow or another I would rationalize why they did it, or rationalize why it's okay for me to stay in a situation where someone was being disrespectful anyways. Don't rationalize their disrespect. If they show you something disrespectful, like, just leave it at the facts. The facts are that this was disrespectful, and I'm not putting up with disrespect. The old me might have rationalized it and might have kept on going with it, but the new me is like, ain't doing it. All right, Gemini. Now we are on to Cancer. 1647. Cancer. Happy Mother's Day, Cancer. To all you beautiful Cancer moms out there, fur baby moms, stepmoms, grandmoms, and definitely a huge hug to anyone out there that's lost their mom. Like, I can't even imagine. Can't imagine. So just a hug out there for everyone. If I could do one thing professionally, I would hug people professionally. That'd be my superpower. My super favorite job would just be to hug people. Cancer, what is the biggest obstacle we got for Cancer? The biggest obstacle in Cancer's life right now. Spiritually, mentally, physically. What do we got, Cancer? What do we have for Cancer? Let's see. Ooh, looks like you are moving on from some internal battle. Are you trying to become a master of your own mind, Cancer? Them furies, I call them the furies, like them little worms, them devil worms, they get up in your mind and creep in and start telling you all kinds of bullshit. I think you are seriously in the process of learning how to be a master over your thoughts, over your thoughts. Like, it seems like thoughts just happen, they're like, they just creep in, they just happen. We think of a million different thoughts throughout the day. There's always this voice running inside our head. It's usually in our own voice. Like, it'd be strange if it wasn't in our own voice, but it's usually in our own voice. And sometimes them voices are the harshest voices that we hear on a daily basis. Like, oh, you're not pretty enough. You're not strong enough. You'll never be good enough. You'll never blah, 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 blah. And I think that you are learning to flip that script. You are learning to gain control over your thoughts and emotions. One of the greatest things that I've ever learned in my life was that I am not at mercy of my emotions. Like my emotions and my thoughts are under my control. Like that is the one thing I can't control anybody else out in this world. I cannot control how someone else feels about me. I cannot control someone else's reaction to something. I cannot control nothing about nobody else, but I certainly can control myself. And I'm not to say that it's an easy thing to do. It takes a lot of practice, like our minds are muscles, it's like a muscle memory. So learning to take control over your internal thoughts and processes and emotions is one of your biggest obstacles right now, Cancer. And I think that you're working on it. Like you're working on it. And it doesn't happen overnight. It's not like, oh, I thought this good thought, It's just like eating a salad when you're super big and thinking that you're just going to lose weight. Like it doesn't just happen overnight. It is a constant process, but if you reversed a couple of bad thoughts today, good for you. Cancer, good for you. If you thought some horrible something about yourself or some horrible something about somebody else and you were like, in the middle of a bad process, you put on the brakes and you're like, no, wait. I'm in control of my thoughts. I'm in control of my emotions. And you put the brakes on it and started reversing it. Good for you, Cancer. And I think that's what your biggest obstacle right now is working on controlling your thoughts and emotions, becoming the master of your mind. Seems like something simple, like, oh yeah, I'm a master of my mind. It seems like it should be so simple, but then once it gets down to the nitty gritty and, something supposedly bad happens, like you're supposed to have a bad time if your car breaks down and you're left on the side of the road, like programming wise, they have programmed you to believe like that's horrible, this is a horrible experience. But if you take all the emotion out of it, just sit back and breathe, maybe try some laughing yoga. I don't know if any of you heard of laughing yoga, but that shit's on point. Like you just start laughing, you start with a 1, start with a 2, and go to 3, and then go to 4, and then just keep going and going, I have found that is super incredibly helpful. Like the laughing yoga, if I find myself in some sort of situation that, I've been programmed to believe is, that I should have this emotion from it or I should have this emotion about it, stop and reflect like, hey, am I upset because it is truly terrible? Then, be upset. And if you are upset, then be like, hey, I'm upset. Does anybody else want to be upset with me? We're just going to be upset today. And like sometimes I'll get home from work and I'll be in a bad mood and me and my brother will, we'll be like, fuck this, fuck that, he's like, do you want your fucking broccoli? Like, and it just turns in like he gets upset with me and it makes it to where you can't even be upset, So turning the script around and being a master of your own thoughts and emotions seems to be your biggest obstacle right now, Cancer. All right, let's move on to Leo. Leo. We are at 2258. What do we got for my beautiful Leos? Lions. Little purr kitties. Leo, what is your biggest obstacle right now, Leo? What is the biggest obstacle for Leo right now? The biggest obstacle for Leo. What do we got? Ooh, I was just told to pull one of these cards, so I'm going to pull one of these. What do we have for Leo? This one. It says, stop looking for happiness in the same place you lost it. Quit going back to people, places, and things that make you unhappy. Were you sad when you were getting drunk all the time? Quit that. Do you drink every time you see that friend, even though you don't want to drink because it makes you sad? Quit that. Quit that friend. Does Forever 21 make you feel fat? Tell Forever 21 to fuck off. Does that lover leave you feeling unlovable? Don't go looking for loving from that lover. It may not be easy, but it's simple as fuck. So your big message for today is stop looking for happiness in the same places that you lost it. All right. And that goes for people, places, memories. Sometimes we're addicted to being sad. We might not think it, but it becomes addictive to be in a sad spot, to be in a sad place, you know, um, to get sympathy from people, like something about being sad and then being cared for because you're sad makes you feel loved. But then at the same time, like, then you're constantly sad. You can feel love and get loved and be reassured without getting sympathy. Like, sure, that bad thing happened, but is reliving it over and over again doing you any good whatsoever? Like, yeah, acknowledge it. Yeah, this bad thing happened. This thing made me sad. But do you really want to live there forever? I know our mind is like this tricky, like, our mind is so powerful that we don't even know we're not in that bad place anymore. That's the problem with like trauma. From like one second or another, like this one time this monk was talking about how in a couple of minutes I can take you from the best experience you've ever had in your life, to the most terrible experience you've ever had in your life, and you feel those same emotions. Like, I could ask you, when was the last time you were at a wedding? What did the bride wear? Did you like her dress? Can you remember what her dress was like? Can you remember how it smelled in the air? Can you remember the children laughing and dancing and playing? Do you remember the chairs that you were sitting in? Were they comfortable? And what color were they? You can, and your body will remember all of these things. And then in a split second, I can take you to the worst time in your life, to the worst place that you've ever been. And your body will still remember. It remembers the smells. It remembers the scents. It remembers how it felt. And then your body doesn't know that you're not there anymore. So if you are living in a place in your mind of somewhere that it has, like the saddest point you've ever had, or the loneliest you've ever been, stop going there. Stop going to the saddest parts and start going to the places that were happy. Remember the things that were good about the situation, not just the bad. And it looks like some of you are waiting for some sort of message. There might be some sort of message of somebody asking for forgiveness for something that they did to you, or something that you've been through. But it seems like your biggest obstacle is living in the places that make you unhappy. Seeing the people that make you unhappy, talking to people that make you unhappy, like thinking about the things that make you unhappy. And I understand, like I was diagnosed with CPTSD at one point in my life. Like, I was definitely living in my head, living in the memory of the torture over and over and over and over and over and over and over, to where I wouldn't even go outside. I couldn't go outside. I couldn't go and have any sort of fun whatsoever without it just creeping back in on me. So I know it's not an easy process to just let go of whatever this trauma is. But one step at a time, one day at a time, 1 minute at a time, you will get over it. Start looking for the things that make you happy. Even if it's as simple as like, wow, I really like that car color. Focus on that color of a car you like. Like, wow, that's a really beautiful blue, and then sooner than you know it, like, you'll start seeing all these beautiful blue cars. Because the universe has no choice but to be like, oh, yep, you like this blue car, you love this blue car, it's going to keep showing you this blue car. But the universe also has no choice that if all you are thinking about is stuff that makes you upset, then it'll keep reminding you of the thing that makes you upset. It will just keep bringing that into your awareness. So start out small, you know, wow, that flower is really pretty. I really like the way that the leaves grow on it, you know, or wow, that person is super confident. I like the way that their confidence just shines through when they walk. They don't even have to say anything. You know, just start thinking about the small things that make you happy. Like notice, bring happiness into your awareness, and do not pay any attention to the things that make you upset. Like, oh, there's something going on the TV that makes you upset. Click, off it goes. Oh, this person's talking about something that makes you upset. Bloop, about face, and there you go. You know, you don't even owe it any excuse. You don't have to say, oh, I can't be in this conversation because it's making me upset, or you don't owe anybody any excuse for any of it. Just if it makes you upset, about face and get the fuck out, you know, and move on to something that makes you happy. Try that for a little bit. All right, Leo, now we are on to Virgo, 3005. Virgo, what do we got for the Virgos today? What is your biggest obstacle? Yeah, staying in the present moment for sure. And it's easy to get disrupted by the present moment, you know, like we have intrusive thoughts. We could be sitting somewhere completely beautiful and then bloop, this intrusive thought comes in. You know, I'm not saying that it's happiness of rainbows and unicorns and rainbow farts all the fucking time. You know, nobody like really truly lives that way. But it's just one piece at a time, one happy moment at a time. And then those one happy moments at a time will multiply. Just like if you are having a bad mood, then all of a sudden all these bad things just start happening to you because it multiplies, you know? It's like if you are running super late and you're worried about being late, then all of a sudden you hit every single freaking red light, you know what I mean? Because you're focused on being late and the things that are making you late. So then the universe goes, oh, okay, you want to be late. Here's some more things that make you late, you know? So you end up, you know, running into every single red light, going behind the slowest tractor in the freaking town, you know? Like there's not even tractors in your town, but somehow or another you ended up behind one. Or if you're having a really bad day, you know, and everything just multiplies. It's like the energy just multiplies. So focus on the things that will multiply your happiness, will keep you aware of the things that are beautiful. And just simply like block out, you know, not to say block out and never what is the word I'm looking for? Never process. Like, don't just stick your head in the sand and ignore the things that are upsetting you. But if it's as simple as a conversation that someone's having around you, you can excuse yourself. Like, nope, I am excused from this conversation. Like, if there's something on TV that you don't want to hear, change the channel. And that's the same thing with our mind. Just change the channel in your mind, man. Sorry, Virgo. Went on a rant there. We'll re-timestamp you. 30, 32. 19, 32, 20. 32, 20. VIRGO, Virgo. What do we got for Virgo? What is the biggest obstacle for Virgo? Spiritually, mentally, physically. The biggest obstacle that Virgo faces right now. Happy Mother's Day. My mom is a Virgo. She likes to put labels on everything. Every single thing has a freaking label on it. It goes in a box and it's in a label. She is definitely Virgo. Virgo true. True Virgo there. Virgo. What is the biggest obstacle for Virgo? The biggest obstacle Virgo is facing right now. Meow. What is the biggest obstacle Virgo is facing? The biggest obstacle Virgo is facing. Like you got the Devil in reverse, the Eight of Wands, and the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. So some of you guys might be fighting an addiction. You might be fighting an addiction. You might be fighting somebody with an addiction. You might be fighting how to love a person with addiction. You might be fighting an addiction to something that you have going on in your own mental world. Because it looks like there's a storm a brewing. You might be fighting an addiction in your head to some sort of, let's see, Nine of Pentacles. Fighting an addiction of spending. I get like this impulsive spending. Feels like impulsive and like spending and buying things and thinking that that will create this new, like, oh, my life would be just better if I just had this one piece of this, you know, then I could do this or this or this with it. And it feels like there's chaos. It feels like there's chaos and like clutter. Like you are fighting the impulse, like you're impulsive. Either with your spending habits or with the things that come out of your mouth. You know, maybe you don't think before you speak, you just spit some stuff out. And you might have an addiction to spending, to impulsively buying things. You might have an addiction to impulsively buying things, you know, and that might be your outsource of happiness. It's like you're purchasing all these things. You're like looking for some sort of happiness outside of yourself. So you think that these things and having this stuff will ultimately make you happy. It's like you're looking for an outside solution for an internal struggle. But I just feel real impulsive, something about real impulsive and like buying things impulsively, or, you know, jumping to conclusions impulsively, or there's some sort of like impulsive behavior that is your obstacle right now. And it feels like it is a source of your happiness. You know, like it's like this, if I have this, then I'll be happy. If I get to this point, then I'll be happy. If I can just do this and buy this to organize this, then my life will be happy. And it's like you are buying things impulsively to try to cover something else up. If it's not objects, it might be what is it? I guess it's like the only control you have. Maybe it's everything feels out of your control, so buying stuff makes you feel in control. But it feels like your energy is real impulsive, Virgo. Like you feel very impulsive. And then you have all this stuff and then you don't know what to do with it. You know? And then the source of happiness that was once, you know, like, okay, this will make me happy. You know, I'm going to get this and this and this. And then it sits in a corner. And then ultimately it makes you sad because then you didn't do this or this or this with it. So I just feel like this real impulsive energy coming from you. Got to take a step back and breathe. Yeah, the Hangman. We got the Hangman. Got to take a step back. Like, don't spend impulsively. Like, I feel like that's your biggest obstacle right now is, like, do you own your stuff or does your stuff own you? Like, we all have this, like, we want the fancy car and the nice house and the this or that, but I've never been more free than when I had nothing. You know, when I had absolutely nothing and I could just go where I wanted to go, I could travel where I wanted to travel to. I could, you know, I didn't have anything holding over my head. That was like the freest that I ever was, you know? I mean, it came with its own obstacles, of course, but like running water, you know, a safe place to sleep at night, You had to find those things. Like I used to hitchhike and hop trains, and I used to do all kinds of super erratic traveling. But when you have a mortgage, you have that over your head. When you have a car, you got a car payment, or you got maintenance issues, or like it's like I feel like your stuff owns you instead of you owning your stuff. So make sure that you're not impulsively buying things, Virgo, and try to have some sort of detachment for the things that you do own. Like sure, some things might have sentimental value and you might not want to get rid of it, but if it's just sat there and got dusty and it doesn't, if you touch it and it doesn't give you some sort of joy, or you look at it and it doesn't bring like this feeling of joy to you, then it might be time to get rid of some stuff. Might be time to get rid of some stuff. And don't be impulsively buying things. All right, Virgo. Now we are on to Libra. Libra. Hello, my beautiful Libras. Happy Mother's Day to everyone out there. If you're a fur baby mom, a grandmom, stepmom, an adopted mom, a mom in waiting, a mom in mourning, a big shout out and a giant hug to just all of you. All right. Let's see. Libra. What is Libra's biggest obstacle right now? Right meow. Libra, what is your biggest obstacle right now? Whether it be spiritual, physical, your biggest obstacle. Your biggest obstacle. What do we got for Libra? Libra, Libra, Libra. Libra. Libra, it feels like you are scared to give. Like you're scared of giving. Like you're kind of hoarding either your love or your emotions or your money. Like you are scared to give. You are scared that if you give, someone is going to sneak off with something in the middle of the night. You're scared to give because all the times that maybe you've given your heart out, you've given it to people who have, stolen it or I mean, they can't steal it if you give it to them, but you're scared of loving, scared of being in love. Even though like that's your thing, like you're a Libra, Libras are all about partnerships and loving, but you are scared. You are sitting on your love, sitting on your throne, sitting on whatever it is that you've got. Like you don't want nobody coming in and disrupting whatever piece that you've got. Like you're like, I'm good by myself. I'm not giving my cup of love out to nobody. I don't know if you don't trust yourself in that department or you don't trust other people, but you are definitely like not just all willy-nilly giving your love out to everyone no more. You might have in the past, maybe you loved without loving yourself, so now you are just focused on loving you and doing what you got to do. And I think you are scared of falling in love, Libra. So you don't even put yourself out there. You don't give nobody no opportunities. If somebody's hitting on you, you're like, that's cool. Thanks for the compliment, but I'll pass. Like you are definitely sitting on what it is that you have to give, because you don't want to just give it to nobody. Maybe you finally learned how to love yourself. So, you're like, no, like I'm not just loving and giving to everybody. Like you're way more discerning when it comes to who and what and why you are giving your love out. But you're also not opening yourself up to any options either. Yeah, we got the Lovers in reverse. Like you are not opening yourself up to any sort of love options. Like you're not making yourself available to give out love. You might be hiding away in your little corner doing your own little thing, loving on yourself, but you are also limiting your availability to be loved. There are good people out there, Libra. You should know that because you're one of them, you know? Not everybody is out to get you. And just because someone's nice doesn't mean, doesn't mean they're flirting with you either. And just because you're nice doesn't mean that you're flirting with somebody. Like, you have a lot of love to give, and I think you finally learned how to love yourself. So you are really just hoarding your own self-love. Like you're like, I'm not open to just be a source of love for whoever, whatever person that's broken that be coming into my yard needs, Yeah. Your biggest obstacle is not making yourself available, not letting yourself be seen, not letting yourself be heard, not giving people a chance, not, like you're like, no, I'm good on all that. You're going to have to be really freaking incredible for me to open my heart up to, or to give you a chance, which is also, if you have it all boxed up, that means that nothing can come in, there's like an ebb and flow. You got to learn how to be open without letting people take advantage of you, learn how to be loving without disrespecting yourself. Like you can love and you can give love without being a people pleaser, without being a yes person, without being a doormat, like you've learned that if the fuckboy calls you at 3:00 in the morning to come and do his laundry, like you are not going over there. You call me at 3:00 in the morning, chances are I'm just going to put you on do not disturb. I'm not even going to answer, unless like your family and it's an emergency or something, then that's a whole different story. But you have definitely learned your lessons, and all kinds of people taking advantage of you. So now you're just sitting there. You're just sitting on it, sitting on all the things that you've learned. But how are you supposed to show what you've learned if you don't give yourself the opportunity to show it? Like if you're just at home, how are you going to show like, hey, I've learned how to respect myself, if you don't give anybody a chance to disrespect you? How are you going to say like, oh yeah, I've learned how to love myself, if you're not showing up and showing out like how to do it? How are you supposed to teach other people how to do it if you're not, putting it to the test? Like maybe you're just not ready to be tested. You're like, no, I'm good on being, I'm good. But I feel like you are sitting on your love, Libra, sitting on your love. And then sometimes that's all right, but you're also closing yourself off from the opportunities that are out there. So don't close yourself off from the opportunities, because you've got this, you've learned a lot, and if someone does, like you do end up getting hurt, or you end up opening your heart and they end up hurting you, it's not going to hurt as bad, because you know that you've got you. Like if you open yourself up and something bad happens, then you're like, hey, you might be sad about it for a day or two, but you're like, that leaves me open to somebody that's actually worth my time. Now that I've gotten this out of the way, then I can actually look forward to someone that is worth it. Like you're not going to be all super heartbroken that whoever it was that you were with was disrespectful to you, and then you closed yourself off from it. It's not going to hurt as bad as before, So don't close yourself off, Libra. Let's go on to Scorpio, 4812. Scorpio, what is your biggest obstacle right now? I'm going to pull one of these cards for you. What is Scorpio's biggest obstacle right now? We'll go with this guy. Maybe you just need to shake your booty. Hey. It says, life throws out very few problems that aren't more easily managed after you've danced it out a bit. Think you're a bad dancer? Stop that shit right now. Just stand up and give your groove thing a jiggle. It's a 98.5% scientifically proven to make you take yourself less seriously, right? So maybe some of y'all are just rigid, forgot how to have a good time. Sometimes we need to take all the seriousness. Like, why so serious? We're always so serious, you know? And really, we're just on a big rock floating through fucking space, paying taxes and living in fear, you know? So take some time to laugh, even if you got to make yourself laugh. I don't know. I was talking about the laughing yoga earlier. You know, some of y'all maybe need to look into that laughing yoga. You know, it's pretty awesome. You just start laughing. Like, laughing is the best medicine. You know, and it raises your vibration and attracts more things that are there to laugh about, to be joyful for. You know, why so serious? Ain't gotta be so serious, Scorpio. Maybe you just take things so seriously, you know? And personally, don't they take things personally? Somebody says some dumb shit, like, that's not a you problem, that's a them problem, you know? Somebody lies to you, like, sure, you might want to evaluate why you let a liar in your life, but at the same time, it's not your fault that they're a liar, it's their fault that they're a liar, you know? So don't take things so personally, Scorpio. Like, if somebody doesn't want to be with you, like, doesn't find you attractive or whatnot, it's perfectly okay. You know, there's people that I'm sure have been attracted to you that you weren't attracted to. You know, don't take it so personal. It is what it is. And that's not a you problem. That's a them problem. So I feel your biggest obstacle is not only taking things like, why so serious, but taking it personally, you know, taking it personally that the, you know, all the lights you go to are red, you know, like taking it personally that the coffee pot broke down, or, you know, it's like you're taking all of these things very personally. I think you got to just take it a little less personal and try to have a little bit more joy in your life. Like, you know, if you're mad at somebody, try talking in a bad accent. You talk in a bad Russian accent or bad whatever accent. It's really hard to be mad when you talk in a bad accent. You know, not even a good accent. It's a bad one. But it really helps. One time I talked like that so much that my inside voice started talking in a bad accent. And I was like, oh, girl, that's got to stop. You got to stop with this bad accent. It's like, but it helps, you know? You cannot be so serious when you talk in a bad accent. So the Hierophant. Some of y'all might be dealing with something to do with faith. Decisions and faith. You know, but that's your own mental thing. You know, you're still taking it personal. Don't take it personally. You know, we have a tendency to be like, yeah, everything works out for me. God loves me. The universe loves me, but only when it's good. It's a little bit harder to have faith when things are bad. You know what I mean? Have faith that, like, okay, whatever's happening is happening for a reason. I might not understand it. I might not ever understand it, but I have faith that one of these days I will understand it. It's a whole lot harder to have faith when something bad happens than when something good is happening. That's for true. But you do have lots of people around you that love you. You are supported, whether it be by the universe or whether it be by, you know, maybe it's by somebody that, like, have you ever had support from people or love from somebody, but it's not the one that you want the love from, so you ignore it, you act like it doesn't even exist? Well, you got to stop doing that too, you know? Stop, like, ignoring the people that actually want to help you. And then you're all after the help from somebody that doesn't want to help you. Or stop trying to help people that didn't ask for it in the first place. You know, but maybe they have their own karmic path that they have to go on. You know, if somebody doesn't ask you for the help, then are you really doing them a service? You know, I mean, you could offer it, but don't take it personal if they don't want it, because did they even ask you for it to begin with? And that includes your children. We have to understand that our children have their own path that they have to follow. We might want to wrap them in bubble tape and have them experience all the best things in life. And it really hurts when our children hurt. But we have to understand that they have their own things that they have to learn and live and transmute and get through and find out for themselves. Because we can't give them all the answers. We can't wrap them in bubble wrap and expect nothing bad to happen to them and then for them to be functioning adults. Like, how are they going to handle it if they never learned how to handle it? They got to learn how to handle it. Same thing goes with our friends. And don't just be jumping on the bandwagon with your friends either. Have you ever had a friend that is going through something with their boyfriend and they tell you all these dirty, dark secrets about what their boyfriend or their girlfriend's been doing to them? Oh, this motherfucker, he blah, blah, blah. He did this, he did that, he did this, he did that. And then you're stuck then they end up right back with them. And then you're stuck having to look at this person and all the things that they've done. Like, so you're a wife beating whatever, but this person just goes right back to it. Don't be jumping on your friends' bandwagons with their bullshit either. Don't take your friends' problems on as your problem. Don't be taking things so personally. Once again, personally. It's like taking things personally, like your friends' problems become your personal problem. That's not your problem. That's their problem. And I think your biggest obstacle right now, Scorpio, is not taking things personally. And why so serious? All right, let's move on to Saggy. 55, 33. Sagittarius. What do we got for Sagittarius? Thank you guys so much for being here. I'm always super nervous about this stuff. Like, it took me a long time to put my face on camera. Like, I've gained a lot of weight by switching to sober. My hair is this color, or my face looks like that, or, and I was like, man, I just got to put the messages out there. Maybe some of you Sagittariuses need to hear that. Who cares what it is you look like? Who cares what your voice sounds like? Who cares what you're wearing? Like, none of that that's so mundane compared to what it is that you have to offer, And maybe some of y'all are struggling with that too. I am a Sagittarius moon, so it's like, but what if, this or this or this or this or this or this? It's like, no. Who cares what your face looks like? Put it on. Just put your face out there. Yeah, you're fighting some sort of battle. You're fighting some sort of battle. And it could be with money, could be with the need of money, the want of money, what money can do for you, what not having enough money will do for you, what having too much money could do for you. You start making too much money, you got to pay a bunch of taxes. Like, there's always obstacles that come with the financial frequency. What kind of financial frequency are you on? How is it that you view money? Do you view it as a tool to help you do good for yourself, for your family, for humankind? Do you view it as, oh, money is the root of all evil and anybody who has money is evil? And maybe you have a interesting relationship with your view on the frequency of money, that green energy. Back when I was at Rainbow, like when I traveled to the Rainbow Gathering, like everything was free. You go to the Rainbow Land and there's a trade circle. You go down to, we called it the main circus. You go down there with your candy bars and your fresh socks. Like, you get people in the woods for like a week and it's amazing what they'll try to give you for a candy bar or a Mountain Dew. Like, our concept of money only comes from where we are currently. You take yourself out into the woods with a bunch of people, like, money becomes irrelevant and those fresh socks become like gold. But it's like it comes and goes. Money comes and goes. but your time you never get back. So make sure you're doing something, either that your money is supporting your passion, you know, try to make your money work for something that you love rather than just survival. You know, maybe you have this 10 to 2 job that is helping you support your passion. You know, or without this 10 to 2 job, you wouldn't be able to go on this vacation or to do this or to do that. Like, I think like you have some sort of mindset. It has something to do with money. Either you're not getting enough of it, or when you do have enough of it, it's like this and this, like, you know, people that make a lot of money, then they don't know who their real friends are, you know? They're like, oh, do you just want me because of my money? Do you just want me because I have this or this to offer you? You know, not everybody is out just for what you have, Sagittarius. Not everybody is after you for what you've got. Like, sure, you might have a lot to offer, you know, not just financially, but mentally, spiritually. But I think your biggest obstacle right now is something to do with your mindset towards money, or towards the people who have money, or towards not having enough money, or something to do financially. Seems to be your biggest obstacle. So maybe you need to put some aside and focus on, you know, just put a little bit aside and do that for your passion. You know, make your money fund what it is that you love, instead of just giving it all out, you know, and not getting nothing back from it besides like a house and a home. I mean, if you've got your bills paid and, you know, your car's running, you've got a car, like any of those things, like just remember to be thankful for the things that your money has done for you, instead of worrying so much about not having enough of it, or, you know, all the people out there that have more of it than you. Be grateful for what you've got. And sometimes I know it's hard. We're human, man. This is an interesting, crazy, strange trip, like, to be human. What a long, strange trip it's been. All right, let's move on to Capricorn. 10121. Capricorn. What do we got, goats? Happy Mother's Day to all the Capricorns out there. And thank you guys all for showing up. I got so nervous. Is it still working? Still hear me okay? Capricorn. What do we have for the Capricorns? Happy Mother's Day, Capricorn. Sending everyone out there a giant hug. Thank you. One of my oldest and bestest friends, Michael Cutie Conley Nelson. Woo! I love you. We've been friends since we were like 12 years old. It's cool to have friends that have been in your life for that many years and still love you unconditionally. You know, they've seen every version of you. Sometimes we haven't talked for years and years, and whenever we do talk, it's just right back to where we were. Nothing's ever changed, you know? Things like that are important, and I definitely appreciate you. Capricorn. What do we have for Capricorn? Walking away. Walking away from what, Capricorn? You walking away, or did someone else walk away? I'm going to pull some more cards here. Capricorn. What do we got? Judgment. 4 of Cups. So it feels like you are walking away. Or someone judged you and walked away. Maybe you felt like you got the fuzzy side of the popsicle stick there, Capricorn. Like you got the fuzzy end of the lollipop and there's not really much you could do about it, but walk away. But it looks like you have someone trying to help you. You have someone that loves you very much and is really trying to help you, but you're like wallowing in something that left, instead of seeing the opportunity that's right in front of you, the love that's right in front of you. It's like you are focused on the past, focused on what did happen, not what is happening. Because you've got the Ace of Cups. You've got the Ace of Cups. And you have the Temperance. So try to remember the facts and not the feelings. Sometimes it's good to be all in your feels, but the feelings doesn't actually make it fact. Try to remember to stay in the facts and not just the feelings. Sometimes we get all caught up in our feelings and think that our feelings are the actual facts, and our feelings are just the feelings. I mean, it doesn't make them any less valid, but it doesn't make them the fact either. And I feel like you are really wallowing in something from the past, some sort of ending in the past, and not seeing the opportunity you have right in front of you. Like there's somebody trying to give you a cup of love, but you don't even see it. You don't see it. You have celebration. You've got a celebration. There are things to celebrate. I mean, if something walked away that wasn't for you, that means that an opportunity for something for you to be present. If you're too busy spending your time on the things that aren't for you, then how are you supposed to find the thing that is for you? If we break up with somebody or something ends, we have a tendency to sit in despair and why, and, ask all these questions instead of being thankful for the fact that now the whatever is for you can come through. And I think you have somebody trying to offer you a cup that you just aren't seeing. Either you aren't seeing or you don't want it. Yeah, but we have two cards of celebration. We got the Four of Wands and the Three of Cups. So I think your obstacle right now is learning how to celebrate the victory instead of the loss. The victory is that, yeah, this might have ended and it might have hurt, but the victory is that now something that's for me can actually come. That's a victory. That's something to celebrate. Like, all right, let's get done with what wasn't for me so that way I can get on to what is for me. And don't ignore the cups that are around you. There are people that are trying to hand you a cup, that love you, that want the best for you. You just don't see it. Like the stars in reverse, you just don't see how there's any hope. You see that there's no hope for the future, and you're just wallowing in the past. And it's like the present. In the present, there's somebody that has a cup for you, and either you don't want it or you don't see it. So maybe you need to take a look around and see who's really trying to be there for you. See who's really, looks at you with that twinkle in their eye, because you got somebody there that loves you, that is trying to help you. Yeah, and you got the Page of Wands and the Strength. So I think you are focusing, your obstacle right now is focusing on all the bad things that happened without recognizing the opportunity for growth, without recognizing the opportunity for, true love, without recognizing the opportunity that comes out of this ending. Just like every death and rebirth cycle, something has to end in order for something else to begin, for something else to grow. Like you look at the rainforest is one of the most luscious places on the planet, but do you know how much death it takes for it to have that much life, to have that much growth? Like there is a constant death and rebirth cycle in a rainforest, in one of the luscious places on the planet has the most death and destruction. But sometimes it has to die in order for it to thrive. You know, I mean, compost, when you get compost out of a garden or get compost for a garden, that is the perfect structure for death and rebirth. You know, those compost pieces had to die and had to be processed in order for it to provide the nutrients for the growth of these next plants, you know, for the growth of your garden. And sometimes we need to look at cycles like that, you know. Sure, it might hurt, it might be unpleasant that something went away, but how can we learn to celebrate the opportunities that haven't presented themselves yet, you know? Like, okay, this ended, so that must mean something else is coming in. That must mean that, I mean, if this wasn't for me, then whatever is for me still has the opportunity to come in. So that way you're not focused on something that's not for you, you know? But you have somebody sitting with a cup. You just don't see it, or you don't want to see it. Or it's not the cup you want, so you don't want it. Got to learn to love what's good for us, you know, instead of chasing the things that are bad for us or chasing the things that don't want us. But sometimes that rejection is like easier. It's easier to know that, you know, if you're constantly after something that you don't want, well, then you know that you're not going to get it. Because, I mean, what happens if you get it? Then you're like, oh man, I don't know what to do with this. But if you're just in that, like, I know I ain't going to get it, you know, so it's safe there. But you have somebody that is trying to hand you a cup, Capricorn. Let's go on to Aquarius. 11044. Aquarius. Hello, my Aquarius peoples. Happy Mother's Day to all of you wonderful mothers out there, whether it be grandma, fur baby ma, mom in waiting, mom in wanting, even a mom in mourning. Like I send my love out to the moms in mourning, like hardcore. Huge hug. Okay, let's get you one of these guys. What do we have here? Integrity is the new black. Integrity means having your actions match your values. Most of the time, integrity takes a lot of not doing stuff, not smacking people, not yelling at people, not talking shit, not stealing stuff, not lying, not littering, and not eating your roommate's last gluten-free soy vegan pizza roll. Ugh. When the temptation is strong to do the bad thing, sometimes it helps to write down the good things and put it in your back pocket. It's hard to justify smacking someone when you have your ass pressed up against the word compassion. I don't think Aquariuses need too much advice on integrity. I'm pretty sure you guys are really solid in that line of that line there, the line of integrity. You guys are pretty solid with integrity. Maybe you just need a reminder about, you know, sometimes not doing stuff is integrity too. It's not just the stuff that you do, it's the stuff that you don't do. You know, because I mean, God's always watching, whether you call it God, spirit, universe, whatever. Like your higher self knows, you know, and you'll always know. If you're fucking up, then you know. And you know that spirit knows. And if you think that nobody saw it, you're wrong, because you know. And maybe you just need to fall back on that all by itself, you know? You're like, oh, well, if this person's doing me wrong, well, spirit knows that they're doing me wrong, and it will get found out. You might not find out right away, but spirit knows. Spirit always knows. You can't lie to spirit. You could try all you want, but, you know, you might be trying to lie to yourself, but you can't even do that because spirit knows. And you are spirit. Spirit is you. You are spirit. We got the King of Cups in reverse, the Two of Swords, and a Justice. Some of you guys might be throwing caution to the wind. Mojojo. Throwing caution to the wind. You're like, I'm going to leave it up to universe. And sometimes that's the best thing to do, man. But sometimes you got to take action in order to leave it up to universe. You have to put a little bit of action in and see which doors open or which ones don't open. You know, you go and knock on proverbial doors. Knock, knock, knock. Like, hey, anybody in there? No? All right. Let's go knock on another door. But I feel like you guys aren't worried about it. Like you're not worried. You're not worried. Whatever it is that you're throwing caution to the wind to, it's like you're just letting it go and letting it go and letting whatever happens, whatever flow, you know? Or that's your obstacle right now, is needing to do that, not to be in control, to try not to control everything, to just let it go. I don't think integrity is your biggest obstacle. It might be the integrity of other people, you know? Knowing if this other person has integrity or not, but then you don't even need to know that. You know that spirit's got you. You know that if something shady is going on, it will come to the light, because whatever happens in the dark always comes to the light, one way or the other. And if you sit and listen long enough, like, people tell on themselves. You can hear their truth. You can hear their actions. You can hear their truths through their actions. I feel like you're just wanting to throw, like, you just want to throw a dart at a map and, like, go wherever, you know? Like, I just feel this real, like, whimsical, you know, just taking a chance, like, just leaving it straight up to universe. But you might be scared, you know, that part of the human part of you that wants to hold on to the control of everything, and, like, no, it has to be like this, and we're going to go on this route, we're going to have this plan, and we're going to, you know, like, I feel like you're just really wanting to go on an adventure, like a spiritual adventure. You know, you just want to throw a dart at a map, and, you know, you don't even know which way you're going to go to get there. You're just going to get in a car and you're going to go, you know? And that could be with a house or an apartment or a job, or, like, I really feel like you are embarking on an adventure, and you're trying to let go. You're trying to let go and to know that it'll be all right. But I mean, when has it not been all right? You've made it through 100% of everything that you have been through already. So the chances of you making it through whatever it is you're about to go through are 100%. You will make it. You will make it. You will grow. You will learn. You will evolve. You'll meet some people. You'll have some fun. There's no such thing as being stuck, you know? When I used to hitchhike and be on the road and stuff, like, sometimes I'd sit there for like 3 days, and it would feel like I was stuck. It felt like I was stuck there for an eternity, you know? But now when I look back on it, I ain't never been stuck nowhere. And I don't think you'll ever be stuck anywhere either, Aquarius. There's no such thing as stuck. It always evolves and moves and grows. You just don't know where. Oh, you're 7 of Cups. You got options. You got all these options. I see. You have so many options. You're like, I don't know which one to go with. I don't know which way to go. I don't know which path to take. I don't know which car to take. I don't know which person to take. You know, I'd just go. Just go. Just close your eyes and go. And see which way the universe takes you. You know, sometimes that is the most fun adventures I've ever been on, have just been like, okay, we're going, you know? They weren't planned. They weren't, you know, I didn't have like this route picked out. I didn't have, you know, I didn't even know how I was getting to wherever I was going. I just went. And if I found myself proverbial stuck, I would just cross the road, and, like, not even 5 minutes later, somebody would come and pick me up, and then off back the way I came on a different adventure, you know? But I always got to wherever it was that I was going, even if I had no destination in sight. Like, you just need to trust that it'll be all right. It'll be all right. Whatever the universe throws at you, which way you flow, you're going to be all right. Maybe you just needed permission to be all right, or just needed confirmation that, nah, the universe has got you. Because I don't really see integrity being your obstacle. That's not your obstacle. I don't think you need to know that. You know what integrity is. You know that spirit's always watching. You know that your higher self's always watching. I don't even think you needed that. Anything about integrity. Maybe the person you're dealing with or something. Maybe they need to know that. What's done in the dark always comes to light. I just feel like you want to go on an adventure. Kitties. I know meows. I have Pixie and Mojojo. Is this one's Pixie? Come here, Pixie. Come say hi. Come here. No? He's like, what are you doing? This one's Pixie. He's my love bug. And Mojo, she's like, don't you dare pick me up. But she plays fetch. Yay! I've been on all kinds of adventures. I even wrote a book about it. See? That's what my background is the Say You Love. I used to hitchhike, hop trains. I've been from one side of the country to the other. One of these days, I'll tell some of my hitchhiking stories. Like this one's Mojo. Mojojo. She's like, no, how dare you? How are you guys today? It actually worked. Got through all the signs. I had no glitches. Cool with that. Thank you. Yeah, it was scary putting myself out there, but like literally, I'm an open book. And once you own everything that you are or everything that you have ever been, there's nothing that, there's nothing that anybody could ever say to me that is going to bother me. It's like, yeah, I did that, or no, I didn't. Yeah, that was me, or like, no, that wasn't me. And I don't, it doesn't matter, I mean, I talk about some real personal stuff in there, and it's not like my whole life autobiography because it would have been a way too big of a book. But anybody out there that's feeling alone, like, you are definitely not alone. You are not alone. You might be, you might have your own version of something that's happening. Kitty. But that's why it's so important to tell our stories, That's why it's so important to not be anonymous. Like, they're always like Narcotics Anonymous, Alcoholics Anonymous, like, survival group anonymous. Like, no, I'm not going to be anonymous. I'm going to be loud. I'm going to be proud, like I might have done some things that I wasn't proud of, but I'm proud of the fact that I went through it and learned from it and transmuted it. And, and now I can help other people get through it. You can't get through something that you can't even look at and face. If you can't admit it and take accountability for it, how are you supposed to get over it? How are you supposed to get through it if you can't even look it in the face, Can't hide from the dark parts of ourselves. It's ourselves. Well, I love you guys very much. I am going to get ready to go to my mommy's house. Happy Mother's Day, everyone. And I will see you next time.